Good evening. Welcome back to Sojourn Block Marathon Madness. Um, I'm your host, Johnson McCain. I played Hunter on Sojourn Block and Hunter. I'm back from my fall break vacation. So welcome back to Sojourn Block Marathon Madness. Let's get into it. So we got a whole week of spectacular episodes coming up this week because this week is Halloween on Friday. So we're gonna have a whole nother spooky spectacular episodes with Saturday Block Marathon Madness. Here we go. So we're gonna first discuss season 8, episode 48, Painful Pyramid, and then we're gonna go backwards to back to season 1, episode 32, 62, sorry, Jared's Brotherhood Haunted Story. Okay, let's begin. So let's go to season 8, episode 48, Painful Pyramid. So he gets up, and the first thing he does is at his house, he does his pyramid on his whiteboard. He does that, and it's painful for some members who have been disrespecting Hunter as a leader, as the king of the Brotherhood, and not doing Hunter's way or the highway. And for other members, it might not be as painful. If they've been behaving, if they've been following Hunter's lead, then they're just fine. Uh, but it's painful pyramid for you. Anyway, um, but and then he says bye to mom, and he gets on the bus. He gets to school. He gets breakfast, and then he gets on the Heartland bus. And then he heads over to Heartland. Today is early childhood education day. He goes to with Miss Higgins to do like some they create their weekly calendar for their lesson plans for the week, and then they take a break, a 15 and 20-minute break, and then they go back in there, they finish doing the lesson plans, and then they go to the preschool room and get any materials they might need for the lesson, and then they prepare for the week. Um, and then the bell rings, and then he gets back on the bus and heads back to the high school, and then he goes to study hall and the high school and then lunch, and he sees his Brotherhood members. He talks to his Brotherhood members. They do the pyramid, and it's painful for some, and some it's not. And they chit chat about their weekend and the week prior. This is right after fall break in 11th grade. So they talk about what they did over the fall break and whatnot. Um, so, and then Hunter sits down, he eats his Chinese chicken and egg rolls and all of that stuff, so which is really hummy. And then he goes to science with Mr. Mindock and the student teacher, Mr. Miller, and they do a lesson, and then they do an activity and an assignment. And then he goes to Algebra 2 with Mr. Steven. Um, it's just a lesson today, and then they do work on their assignment, and then resource with Miss Oswald. Miss Oswald getting the math assignment, I mean the Algebra 2 assignment done and out of the way. Um, and then they go to U.S. history with Mr. Wild Winwich, which is very wild during Halloween week. Um, and then the bell rings at 3:30. He heads out the door. And that's it for that episode. And then let's go backwards to season 1, episode 62, Jared's Brotherhood Haunted Story. So here we go. So it starts out, he gets breakfast, he goes to Breakfast Club with Erica and Corden and Brandon and Vander and all that. They chit chat, they talk, they have a good time, they eat their breakfast, they just have a fun time. And then they go first period. Um, Hunter goes to first period with Miss Hendricks. They're doing the lesson first, and then I mean, bell work, and then they do a mini lesson, and then they work on their book that they're reading. And then they go to Miss Warnock for reading. Um, they do a short lesson, and then they're doing their book that they're doing. They do two different books, English and language arts. And then they go to pre-algebra with Miss Cornell. Oh, Miss Cornell. It's kind of they do bell work and then a lesson, and then they have like an activity. It's kind of stressful, but he gets through it. And then he goes to lunch with his Brotherhood members, and I think is it this one's a Tuesday, I believe, and it's Taco Tuesday. So, yay! So they chit chat about life and school and all that. But Jared shows up and he tells a creepy Brotherhood story to the members. It's Halloween week, it's spooky season, and Jared tells kind of a creepy story at the lunch table. And everyone's like, oh my goodness gracious, oh my gosh, that's spooky, oh my gosh. It's a very haunted story. Um, and you'll find out why in the clips. You'll just have to watch the clips here. Um, but Jared and some other Brotherhood members tell some haunted how Brotherhood stories at lunch. And then they finish eating lunch. And then they go to stay hall. Um, and then they go to science with Miss Fairchild. They do bell work, lesson, assignment, blah blah blah. And then they go choir, Mr. Neville, practicing for the Christmas program and whatnot in a couple months, um, which we'll discuss in a couple months here. And then um, um, and then he goes to chaotic civics with Wild Limited, um, which is kind of spooky. It's kind of crazy. Um, they do their lesson and then like an activity assignment thing, and that's it for. And oh, and then they go. I forgot that least for the Miss Warnock again, and then Hunter and Erica and Jennifer and Kayla do their complete algebra assignment for the day. They get down to Bellings at 3:45 and they head home. And that is it for this episode. This is it for this edition of Sajan Buck Marathon Madness. I'll see you Tuesday night for another episode of Sajan Buck Marathon Madness. Bye for now. May God bless you all. See you next time.